our final question then, Jeremy, and I'm glad that you've mentioned the novel and the craft essay that you're working on already. So it's
Yeah.
kind of what new stories or what new kind of projects do you have in the pipeline? What should our readers and listeners be watching out for over the upcoming months and maybe years?
Well, thank you for asking. I always have, and my students are always kind of like mind boggled. I usually have I have about like 12 different things going on at once.
Okay, nice. I like that.
I
Yeah.
find like if I'm too locked into one thing,
Mhm.
especially you finish a draft of one thing, and I always think it's really important. As much as every time I finish anything, I'm like, this is the greatest fucking thing I've ever written in the world. But I'm still reading it as me,
Yeah.
so I have to put it away for a very long
Yeah,
time,
okay. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then pick it up, and then I get a better sense of like what it reads like as a reader.
Okay.
So I've got probably about like a half dozen short stories that I'm working on. I just had a piece. Here's a that McNeese review. I'm just
Oh,
gonna
yes.
drop a little love for the McNeese review.
Okay.
They
Perfect.
uh they published my first like kind of romance
Oh,
like love
fantastic.
story
Good.
that I've ever written, and it was really hard to like kind of not write something cheesy.
Yeah.
Uh, that took a long time. They just published a work, and I have two.
Excellent.
Actually, my first two poems are being published by North Dakota Quarterly
Okay.
and
Perfect.
Flora Fiction in later this spring. So I got that going
Super.
on.
What are all of these called?
Um,
Sorry. So the love story, what's that called?
that's called Nighthawks.
Nighthawk. Nice.
Nighthawks,
Okay.
based on the Edward Hopper,
Yes.
the
Yeah,
old
yeah.
Edward Hopper painting.
So
Yeah, that
Nighthawk's
was
in the
a
McNeese review. Perfect.
yeah, that was one where you had mentioned earlier, like the second place for the prime. I hit a lot of those kinds of like short lists, honorable
Yes.
mention.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so that was one of those that got a couple close ones. But
Right.
um, what
And
else
then
am
the
I working on?
poems.
I got a story about a robotic teacher, another teacher story
Okay.
about a kindergarten teacher who gets replaced by like a Terminator type of like
Okay.
robot
Excellent. Yeah.
because the school district wants to save some money. That one I'm working on that. My the novel kind of is
Oh,
about
yes. Yeah.
method acting. Yeah, it's about method acting, American politics, and WWE wrestling. So that's kind of
Perfect.
like
That sounds
yeah.
wonderful. Yeah. Okay. Good.
And
Do we have any kind of timeline for that? Or is that still in? Where are we?
so thank you for asking. That was my thesis for my master's degree.
Oh, superb. Okay.
So I'd finished that up like the first yeah. So the first 50 pages was what I had to submit.
Yes. Okay.
Um, 2.5 years later, 2 years later,
Yeah.
draft is done.
Okay. Good.
I'm like on draft 6 or 7.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Hoping to have something that I could pitch out to agents, and then never had nor tried the whole agent thing
Okay.
yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a shot. I don't know what your experience if
I
you've gone
yeah.
that route at all, but
There are obviously
I would
different
love to hear
ways.
what your
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah, that maybe we should do another conversation about literary agents. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Um,
Yeah,
yeah, so there are obviously different ways to go. The literary agent route is, if you can work your way through it, is a very, very good one because you get that extra representation, which is just somebody else fighting your corner, to be honest. So
right.
definitely
Yeah,
worth trying, absolutely. And yeah, maybe we can have a conversation again afterwards and look at
sure.
some literary agents. That'd be good. Yeah.
I mean, I'm familiar with the process. I was just curious if you had attempted that route at all, but
Okay, no, so I've always gone straight to independence, to be honest.
yeah, I'm very happy with that as well. I just thought
Yeah,
I'd give it a shot here.
yeah,
What else? And then I'm trying to think of what else. And then another kind of, I'm trying to put together like a little specky,
yeah, yeah.
um, spec fiction kind of, um, either a chapbook or
Okay,
like
nice.
a collection.
Okay, lovely.
So I have a story about a woman who uses like an AI headset to connect with Mary Shelley, and
Okay,
they're both
yeah,
like
excellent. Yeah,
the story is called The Bride of Frankenstein, and
right,
this
okay,
woman is
nice.
like really pissed off at her husband for being such a schlub, and then she zooms into Mary Shelley's head and she sees Percy Bryce
Yeah,
has like the same kinds of husbandly dynamics as her husband, and it's kind of like this connective thread. So I'm
I like that.
playing
That's
around with
good.
that.
Yeah, yeah, that's really good.
Uh,
So there's a
and then I
lot on
have
the
a
go.
story. Say again.
There's a lot on the go.
Oh yes, for sure. Yeah,
Yes,
I'll
yeah,
just leave it there. Yeah, I have juggling a lot of things.
yeah. What was that last one you were going to say? Sorry.
Oh, the last one is about that I was just looking at this morning. It's about Plato and Socrates, and
Okay.
it's called Alternative Content.
Okay.
And Socrates is just keeps getting pissed that all Plato wants to do all day long is scroll,
Okay.
and he's got like these
He's
scrolls,
got these scrolls. Yeah. Okay.
and so it's like a
Yeah.
play on students and social media and stuff like that.
Nice. Yeah, I like
I'm
that.
messing around with that.
No, that's good. Yeah. I like I like how a lot of the content here is serious but also humorous. You've got that kind of commentary, but also it's really, really relatable and often maybe it's like by the sounds of it satirical as well. Yeah, that sounds good. Excellent.
Yeah, I
So
mean that's what I a lot of the stuff I do. I try for that when I can.
yes. Yeah. And do you find that that sort of stuff lands more often than not?
So I like with the story that was in the coolest American stories about a game show.
Yes.
And there's like you don't really know what the stakes are of the game show until the end when it plays out like it's really kind of messed up and dystopian. And I don't know, this might get me in hot water, but like the American sensibility is kind of like warped and messed up. And
Mhm.
so I keep thinking about like my when my son is watching American football
Okay.
and like some of these injuries and things that are happening to these men are like catastrophic.
Mhm.
And you see like the brain damage that comes up later on in their
Yeah.
lives, and
Yeah. Yeah.
the suicide rates are very high, and the violence that they perpetrate on their families because of what's happening to the like it's pretty awful. And yet the more we learn about how awful it is, the more we want to consume it on like a much bigger scale. And
Right. Yeah.
so that was very much that was very much something I wanted to talk about. It's like, well, how far is too far for the American public? Would they be willing to watch people like be executed on national television? And I don't know if they wouldn't. Like,
Yeah.
I'm, it's really kind of
Mhm.
so. I think that a creates a level of fear,
Yeah, definitely.
and in those kinds of stories, the one that the second place one for the Press 53 was about
Yes.
a detective, like a noir story about a detective who's investigating a cult in which um, the leader believes that he's a neurosurgeon who believes that after you die, um, there's like 25 seconds in which a toxin, a hormone is released in your brain called
Okay.
dimethyltryptamine or something.
Okay.
And it slows down the brain to a
Mhm.
degree where your life will play out again and it'll feel like your entire life because it's
Okay.
slowing down.
Okay.
So they walk around with football helmets and they try and protect their heads, this cult, as much as they can. And it ends, it's like a very gruesome and brutal ending. It's like from all of my feedback on the more kind of perverse
Yeah.
stories that I've written, um, I think the readers have suggested that even though they're like very disturbing,
Mhm.
that kind of gut punch leads them to think a little bit about the stakes and
Yes.
how
Yeah.
it might play in a world that's not an imaginary world.
Mhm.
Um, Anytime a reader says to me like, that scared the shit out of me, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, win.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
That's great. If it made you feel anything, like, hey, even if you're like, God, I hate this fucking
Yeah.
writer, okay. You felt something that works.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. And something that's so far from reality, but actually at the same time not that far from reality at all. That's
That's
what's
right.
the scariest, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that if you can make the reader like make those connections in the middle of the thing playing out, that's a success. You talk what I said before, like it's hard to kind of identify what success is. Like
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
a successful story, if you can make that work.
Yeah. Perfect. That's brilliant. Thank you so much, Jeremy. It's been really interesting. Thank you.
I apologize if I ran on a little bit.
No, no,
Thanks
that's
for having
absolutely
me.
no. It's this is exactly what this is for. It's your space to talk about anything you want to talk about. So that's perfect. Thank you.
Thanks so much.